Alrighty guys, welcome back. We are playing Higurashi When They Cry. Chapter 2, Watanagashi. I mean, last time, are we even gonna talk about what happened last time? I don't really want to, I'd rather not, you know? But yeah, we learned the truth, I guess, about Shion. Unfortunately. And, I don't know. I guess that's all that can be said. I guess that's all there is to say. I just don't, like, what are we... Oh, we get this music again. I feel like I gotta turn this down some. I got new headphones. And it's a little bit loud. It's gonna be annoying, though, because it's gonna throw off, like, the balance in the video. I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. I'm just trying to think, like, where are we going from here? You know? Like, obviously... I said this last time. Last time I was really mad, so I kind of forget what I even said. But like I was saying, I know I talked about this some. This is just gonna make everything so much worse, right? Because it really is. It's like Shion. I mean, I feel like Mion has to have formed this whole, like, thing about herself and the way she views herself and her femininity and all of that. Shion has to be, like, a large contributing factor to that, I feel like. I mean, I don't know, we've seen so little of their relationship at this point that I guess it's hard to say. But to me, I mean, it kind of seems like Shion's, like, bullying me on, you know? That's pretty much what was going on at the end there. I assume Mion, in her insecurity about her femininity and herself in general, especially with Keiichi, and the way Shion has been acting with Keiichi and all that, the way Shion seems to act in general, is just going to make that so much worse, right? It just completely feeds into her insecurity. If it isn't essentially, like, what caused those insecurities in the first place, you know? I mean, everyone has some level of, you know, insecurity like that, right? Most people do. So it's not like Shion's fully to blame for it, I'm sure. I just think her existing makes everything so much worse. Like, because it's not like all that stuff. And, like, Mion was still pretending to be Shion, right? Like, when she brought Keiichi to Bento, right? So, it's still... Whatever, let's go. I need to know what Keiichi's gonna say, because now Keiichi knows what's up, right? He figured it out in his head, like, what's going on with Mion. Well, maybe because Shion's real, I guess he might just think that, oh, he was just crazy and that none of that was true. And that if Shion wasn't... No, but he still had to talk with Rena, you know? So, like, surely. I just don't know. It's gonna be... I'm scared. I don't trust Keiichi to navigate the situation with the way it should be. The next day. It was a strange day, where Mion was desperate to regain her composure. Every time our eyes met, she would say that she had to do something. She had something to do, or that she had to use the washroom and run off. Jesus, man, I gotta learn how to read again every time I play this. Like, unable to just watch, Rena was taking care of her the entire time. Oh my god. What's Rena gonna think? Like, Keiichi has to clear everything up with Rena ASAP, so she doesn't think that Keiichi did something horrible.
今日のミオンさん、徹底的に変ですわね。
一部始終を知ってはいるんだが、なんとも説明しづらい。
I don't think you do know the whole story.
女の子には不安定になる時もあるのです。
Sure.
放っておいてあげるのが一番なのですよ。
Everyone, probably. There are times where they're emotionally unstable, you know. Turning around, I saw Rena calling me from the hallway. I wondered what it was.
ケイチ君、こっちこっち。
なんだよ、こんなとこに呼んで。内緒話か？
その、
Yeah.
災難だったみたいだね。
But it's not really Keiichi's fault.
みーちゃん、かなり壊れてたけど、なんとか直しておいたから。
Okay, but what are we gonna do?
よく直
We
せた
can't
な。
just ignore it.
一体どうやって？
うん、テレビと同じ。
Uh-huh.
斜め45度くらいの角度で。
Okay. I hope you didn't do that. Saying that, she made a chopping motion. You know I can't tell if you're joking or not, right?
私 明日からは大丈夫だから。
Will she?
だけど
I
ケイチ
know
君にもお願いしたいことがあるの。
悪気はないんだが、なぜか罪の意識もある。
And that's a good thing, honestly. Like, I mean, it's not good that you feel guilty, but it's good that you, like, understand, like, you know, yeah. Keiichi's, like, actually such a sweetheart. He doesn't, like, yeah. Yeah, I think you know what I mean.
何でも聞くぞ。
助かみーちゃんはね、
Oops, my bad.
昨日までの数日間
That's not
なかったことにするから。
that isn't good. That's not a good way to do it. This is not how you handle it. This is not right. This will not work. Yeah, no, that can't be right. Never happened, huh? I see. Well, that's one way to run from it, yeah.
だからね、ケイチ君もなかったことにしてあげて。
It's not gonna fix anything unless... Because I guess that's just Mion's, like, go-to thing, isn't it? Because that was, like, the whole thing with the Shion stuff. Like, the stuff she was talking to Rina about in that flashback, right? About how she wants to, like, start over like a new person. That's like Mion's go-to thing, I guess, right? It just doesn't work like that, though.
それでみーちゃん、いつも通りだから。
But normal isn't working.
そんな簡単なことで本当に大丈夫なのか？
お願いだから、みーちゃんの
Okay.
心の整理がつくま
Yeah,
でそっとしておいてあげてよ。
I can understand that, I guess. I guess I can get, like, if she, you know, if she's not ready for, like, a direct confrontation about it, I can understand.
分かったよ。
Even though I shouldn't have been at fault, for some reason I felt guilty. The one at fault here was the one who knew about the entire situation and pretended to be Mion for an entire day. Shion, yeah. Ugh, but she never once said that she was Mion. Okay, well, like, who cares? Like, she was not. You know, come on. What am I supposed to be angry at? Shion. Seeing me stomping the ground impatiently, Rina giggled.
でも、ケイチ君も分かったでしょ？みーちゃんにも可愛いところがあるんだって。
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he's able, like, the fact that Keiichi is able to come around to seeing Shion as Mion and Mion as Shion is kind of like a win for Mion, you know, in terms of, like, it shows that there isn't, like, it's completely possible for Mion to change the dynamic of the relationship and the way Keiichi views her, right? Because, like, even though that was, like, crazy shit going on with Shion being evil, the fact that Keiichi, like, had that whole, like, mental realization of what he thought was going on means that, like, it's not, like, a lost cause for Mion. Rina talked in a calm voice as her hair rustled in the wind.
ああ、退屈しないやつだということが分かった。
よかった。
Following this curt reply, Rina looked up at the sky and stretched.
ケイチ君がそれに気づいてくれれば、この数日間の出来事はすぐに笑い話になるんだよ。
I hope so. As long as he realizes that. Okay. I hope. We'll see. Copying Rina, I also began to stretch as I looked at the sky. The clear sky towered into the distance.
今日は部活も何もなし。今日だけは申し訳ないけどケイチ君、下校は一人でいいかな。
Oh, you have to stay with
明日から
Mion?
は元通りだから。
Oh,
今日だけ。
if you say so, I just don't... Here, I gotta write something down in my notes, because... Here, let me write down the exact wording. Okay. I just don't know if I like this, like, the stance we're taking here. Because, I mean, I don't know. If all it took for everything to go back to normal was to leave Mion alone for today, then it was an easy decision to make. And that's why I don't like it. It's like this idea that we're just going back to normal, you know? Because it's not like that's good for Mion. Or good for Keiichi, frankly. He's gonna feel guilty forever. Like, I don't know.
分かったよ。ミオンに面と向かって言えないからレナに言っとく。なんだか申し訳ないな。謝る。
Yeah.
元はといえば、ケイチ君が無神経なことを言うからいけなかったんだよね。
Uh-huh. Sure.
これに懲りて少しはデリカシーってものを身につけるんだよ。
Okay, I mean, sure, like, yeah, I get... Okay. I don't really like blaming Keiichi for it entirely. there is a level of, like, failure to communicate on Mion's part. Not that I'm, like, blaming her for it either, right? You know, I completely sympathize with her to an insane degree and completely understand, like, how difficult that would be to, you know, be direct and clear in a situation like this. So, I totally get that. But I don't think you can say it's all Keiichi's fault either. So...
Hey, hey, 努力します.
But yeah, I mean, but Keiichi can try, right? Like, that's obviously, he has to try too, you know. That day was the shortest day of my life. Runa was talking to Mion while accompanying her around the entire time. It looked like a really fun conversation, so I reflexively thought about joining in, but I had to promise not to. I had made a promise not to. It seemed that Mion was also trying her best to ignore me. Oh, God. So likewise, I did my best to ignore her. I don't like this. For the first time in a while, I ate lunch alone. Mion and Runa ate theirs by themselves. As I let out a sigh in my ashen mood, Rika-chan came over and patted me on the head. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's not like a complete fracturing of the friend group like an Onikashi, right? So it's not like we're at, like, game over type situation like we were there, you know? Just this isn't something that I feel like is going to be solved like this, so... I'd never say it like that. It made it sound like we were having romantic problems. Okay, well, I didn't like that one bit. Hopefully the teacher wouldn't notice and call us to the staff room after school or something. I find... never mind. This would have been a crazy thing to go on about.
Rika-chan はお勉強家だから、すごい素敵な大人になれそうだな。
もちろんなのですよ。僕は大人になったらすごいすごいのです。
I bet you will be.
あら、私も大人になったらすごいレディーになるんですのよ。
At least you know you aren't a lady already.
でもお子様だと思うぞ。かけてもいい。
なんですって？
As Sadako snapped her fingers, a washpan fell from above, hitting me squarely on the head. How did she set up? Like, she snapped her fingers and a wash basin fell from above. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? There's like a tripwire that she pulled or something. Bang, smash, pinch, squeeze. It was a day I could thoroughly appreciate the value of having friends. I know, right? Thank God. Thank God. We aren't at Onikashi territory. That's so, like, we're fine. We're okay. We are A-okay. And if anything, like, I feel like it would be so hard for this chapter to reach the same level of Onikashi, of, like, the splintering of Keiichi from the group. Just because of how, like, close he is with Rena right now. I just can't imagine. Like, Rena knows what's going on, you know, it's like, I don't know. It would be so hard for me to believe that we get to the same situation as Onikashi, where he's completely separated and alone, you know? Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. And again, I'm still just, like, completely confident that terrible things will happen to him when he is separated from his friend group, right? Like, oops, I accidentally hit my mouse. That seems to be, like, obvious. Like, that was directly what was going on in Onikashi, right? It's literally just the less communicative and less connected he was with his friends, the more terrible, awful things were happening to him. So, I'm imagining that's gonna keep, you know. Today was Saturday, so school ended in the blink of an eye. It really felt good to go home with the sun so high in the sky. On any other day, our club would have been up to mischief during our ample after-school time, but today Rika-chan had a rehearsal for tomorrow's Watanagashi to go to. Oh, Watanagashi's tomorrow. Wow.
Rika-chan はどんな調子？練習はバッチリ？
去年よりは頑張りますです。
Wow, I wonder how long she's been doing it.
ヘトヘトの汗だらけだったんだよね。今年はもっともっと様になってますわよ。特訓の成果、ご期待あそばせですの。
The Watanagashi festival everyone had been talking about was tomorrow, wasn't it? Sorry. The festival being in June felt a little early to me, but the onset of summer came quickly this year, so it fit the image of a summer festival pretty well.
じゃあ僕たちは失礼しますです。明日を楽しみになさいませ。
I am ready for
そ
it.
れではごきげんようですわ。
Sadako and Rika-chan waved to us energetically, then left.
そういえば聞いてなかったんだけど、祭り会場ってどこなんだ？
Oh yeah, he hasn't been there on this timeline, right? Unless, well,
この辺っ
maybe.
て祭りのできそうな場所なんてあったっけ？
I guess the picnic didn't happen. You know, because it's unclear where this like timeline started compared to where Onikashi started. You know, because we started at some point in time after the place where Onikashi started. But I guess the picnic must have not happened. The picnic from like chapter 2 of Onikashi, right? It must have not happened because they went to the shrine then.
フルデ神社でやるんだよ。ほら、以前にみんなで
Oh,
お散歩
maybe
し
they
た
did.
時に行ったでしょ。
Maybe it did
あ
happen.
の見晴らしの良かったところ。
Oh right, I remember. There was a shrine all the way up on that hill, wasn't there? It seemed far too grand for Hinamizawa.
神社には立派な集会所とかもあって、老人会のカラオケとか習字サークルの会合とかを時々やってるからね。
And you know, I'm realizing now, I think it would be like impossible for me to actually like piece together the timeline, you know, like compare each day to Onikashi. Because in Onikashi, the chapter before the chapter that had Watanagashi, or no, there was like a little time skip of a few days. Because I remember specifically that I didn't think that the Watanagashi was going to happen in the next chapter, and then it did. And like the opening lines of that chapter in Onikashi were like, the next few days went by really quickly, or blah, 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 blah. So I guess it would just be impossible. There's no way to just link it up day by day, so I don't know.
単なる神社というよりは公共施設のような雰囲気だね。
なるほどね。それなら立派なのも納得かな。
みーちゃんちも今日の設営にはお手伝いに行くの？うん、男手がいるからね。町から親類が大勢
Male
手伝いに来るよ。
hands. Male hands, huh? Well, I mean, I have nothing to do at home today, so
俺みたいのが飛び入りで参加すると。
sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Very curt with Mion so far. I don't know. Sorry, I was kind of talking when Mion showed up, so I probably should have like thought about that. Yeah, but you know, obviously we aren't talking. It hasn't been acknowledged at all. You know, yeah, blah 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 blah. Oh God.
ケイちゃん、手伝いに来てくれるの？
迷惑なら行かねえよ。単なる興味だからさ。
Nothing wrong with that. We had bond dances and other festivals in the town I used to live in, but I didn't even know where they took place, much less wanted to help. You could say that I had absolutely no connection to the region. Having come to Hinamizawa, though, it really made me feel like this place was a home that I had returned to. Interesting way to phrase that. Before I knew it, I harbored a little interest in the small community activity of preparing for a festival the day before.
ケイチくん頑張れるかな？テントを立てたり、パイプ椅子を
Come
持
on.
ったり。
He can do it.
結構重労働って聞いてるよ。
別に俺一人でやるわけじゃないだろ。みんなでやればきっと早いぜ。
Mion looked happy to hear that, but at the same time, her expression was complex, tinged with hesitation. Ruta gave her the last push for me.
じゃあ決定だね。行ってきなよ、ケイチくん。
Sounds good to
み
me.
ーちゃんはビシビシこき使ってあげてね。レナの推薦じゃ仕方ないな。じゃあさ、帰ったらラフな格好で神社に来なよ。汗拭き用のタオルもあるといいかもね。
Okay, okay, sounds good, sounds good.
俺こう見えても太陽の下で汗をかくの嫌いじゃないんだぜ。
せいぜい腰を痛めないようにね。
God, I can't relate. I don't know.
じゃあ、おじさんはこの辺で。
I work outside, and the summer is terrible, so...
私も着替えたらすぐに神社に行くから。みーちゃんも頑張ってね。バイバイ。
Mion waved vigorously to us and left. As far as I could tell from her gallant, retreating figure, she seemed to have recovered from the weak state she had yesterday. True, I mean, kinda, but we know that Mion's like that, right? Like, I mean, just like with the doll thing, she kind of... her go-to thing to, like, cope with the situation was, like, laughing a bunch and all that, you know, so... Hard to tell.
女の子は切り替えが早いんだから。
I
も
guess.
うみーちゃんも大丈夫だよ。
If you say so, Rena.
あれだけ綺麗に切り替えてくれるとこっちも実に合わせやすい。
But is it normal? I
でも面白かった
I
でし
guess.
ょ。シンデレラみたいっていうのか
Oh.
な。魔法が解けたらもう会えないってところが。
Rena began to giggle a fair bit in amusement. Did she like this sort of thing? Incidentally, me going along with it gave me a weird, hard-to-describe feeling. Did I turn myself into a plaything, or did they do it for me?
そんなに面白いならレナももう一人の自分を演じればいいじゃないか。
See, and it is, you know, this whole like two sides thing really does apply to Rena very well too. At least the backstory stuff we got from her from Onikashi, you know. So, it's very interesting, and I feel like in a way that was kind of like that really was like a major point of Onikashi, you know, is Keiichi looking so deeply into his friends and forming these new ways to view them, like especially Rena, right? Like he learned all this stuff about Rena, the stuff that happened at her old school, her, you know, destroying all the windows, all of that, and that made him view her in this completely different way than he does now. And that, obviously, and the more disconnected he came from her, the more like accusatory and like he was with her and all of that, just the worse everything got for him. So it applies so well to Rena too. It's very interesting. I guess it's kind of just like an exploration of just like identity in a way that just seems to kind of be a good way to summarize like almost the meta narrative of both chapters so far.
面白そうだね。じゃあケイイチくんはどんなレナに会いたいかな。
A terrible, scary one, probably.
アイドル真っ青の
Okay, alright,
俺の言う
okay.
こと何でも確実に聞く器量よして頼む。
そんなの無理。
料理上手でお昼のお弁当を作ってくれ
She
て
does that.
朝は迎えに来てくれて
That's not any different.
それいつもやってる。
I pull Rena's head into a tight grip and start to pet it.
優遇レナなんだろ。レイナじゃなくてレナ。だからレナはいつまでもレナのまんまでいろ。
Okay, so like he knows her name Reina, so I guess that tip from Onikashi did happen. Yeah, okay.
ありがとう。お祭りのお手伝い頑張ってね。
おう、明日祭りで会おうな。
If anything, it's kind of sad. I mean, obviously I think it is obviously sad, right? Just how, like, it really was just him forming this different idea of who he thought Rena was. Like, obviously it started with him thinking everyone was hiding stuff from him in Onikashi. But then it was just the more so he got into just like Rena's backstory, he formed this just different idea of who she was, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It just makes me sad just because seeing how close they are right now in this timeline, you know. And I doubt this is gonna go anywhere. I mean, maybe it will, but go anywhere isn't like I doubt it's gonna change, right? Because I mean, this arc's not, it's not Rena's arc, right? So, I wonder like what's being said with that, you know, just like. And, like, obviously, like, with Hinamizawa in general, that idea also applies, you know, how Hinamizawa seems like such a nice place to live, and Keiichi is so happy living in Hinamizawa, but when he looks too deeply into it, it becomes, like, this dark, scary place that he doesn't feel safe in anymore, you know? And I guess, like, Ren is like that, too, basically, you know? Like, I'm not saying that it's, like, fair to view Rena like that exactly, or Hinamizawa like that exactly, though, so, I don't know, it's just interesting. I got changed right away, and slinging a towel around my neck like Mion suggested, I set off for the shrine. We're back. At the shrine, there were more people than you'd imagine even live in Hinamizawa there, all cordoning off areas and setting up tent frameworks, chatting amongst themselves as they did so. Alright, where's Mion? The liveliness of the throng didn't make it easy to look for her. She has bright green hair, like surely you can find her. I searched around as if I already worked there, and suddenly the principal called out to me.
前原君であるか。Watanagashiの準備のお手伝いに来たのかね。
ああ、どうも。何かお手伝いできないかなって思いまして。
首相な心がけである。存分に汗を流すがよいぞ。
You tell me the principal can't just, like, I don't know, snap his fingers and set everything up instantly with his shonen protagonist powers? But that is a tiny door. Am I crazy? Is that it? Or does it open this whole thing? Like, I don't... Is that... Maybe that's the hinge. Maybe it opens this whole thing. If the door is just this, then man, that is... that is intense. Spurred on by the principal, I came upon a group of people setting up tents. I hadn't found Mion yet, but I supposed I'd just get in her way if I ran into her. No way. He was a city boy. Delighting in teaching a new skill to someone younger, plenty of people happily taught me all sorts of things. Man, I learned all about tents from Laid Back Camp. I know it's like if these are just the tents with the cords, those ones are like rough, right? What was once nothing more than a collapsed tent was raised on 4 splendid legs before my eyes in mere moments. Whoa. Seeing it put together like this is actually pretty moving. I can think of so many possible literary meanings for putting up a tent and what that could mean. But like I just have like all these things racing through my mind, literally trying to figure out what I could apply this to in the story that like putting up a tent is like. But I'm losing my mind. I don't know. They look light enough, so I thought they were, but they're heavy. Literally, like he needs someone's help to do it. Like, come on, surely you get like, it means something. Said the man, lifting it up with a grunt and taking it away under his arm. Either I'm weak, or these old guys all have superhuman strength. Well, I don't think he can partake. Yeah. Sweat dripped from my body. I had been fully and completely absorbed in helping them. I would never have thought the cold barley tea from the Women's Society could taste this delicious. Ah. Sounds like a fun day. It was then that I realized a crowd had formed near the shrine a ways off. When I took a closer look, I saw a girl dressed in shrine maiden garb and a handful of old men looking like they were preparing for the ceremony together. Rika, I assume, right? Yeah. Don't distract her. I shouted, and it seemed like she heard me. Rika-chan, positively exploding with vitality, answered with a smile. The older guys with me watched Rika-chan as well, with distant gazes. Oh yeah, it seems like, man, I don't know. This would be a stressful thing for a little kid. Like, rough. The old lady who gave me the tea clasped what looked like prayer beads in her hands and said, I don't know why I can't read. And just like that, began to respectfully pray to her. Huh? I just remembered that they called it the Furude Shrine. Yep. Was it Rika-chan's full name, Rika Furude? The man next to me answered my question. Makes sense. Anyone gonna mention her father dying 2 years ago? I'd always gotten the feeling she wasn't quite your average person, but it turned out she was from an esteemed family. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Keiichi knows. It's actually, I feel like it's very important that Keiichi is learning this information in a way that isn't like just linked to like the crazy curse stuff, you know? And her mother. Oh, no. I hope this isn't gonna reignite his curious streak.
次は使わないパイプ椅子を沖小の体育館に戻しちゃおっか。マーキさん、Kを回して何人か連れてってよ。
じゃあ前原君、最後にもう一働きしようか。
Yeah. You're gonna make me do more work? I can't tell if they know I'm a minor or not, but the older men all cheer me on, encouraging me to do my best and that the beard will be great. Finally! What is up, Mion? I passed by Mion. She was carrying a big cardboard box. It looked like she was right in the middle of working as well. Judging by the sweat seeping into her shirt, it seemed I wasn't the only one with his hands full. We were worked to the bone until the sun began to set and it started cooling off. Oh. I hope we get to, like, have a conversation with Mion. Love this music. It was soon full-fledged night, and the clear sound of the Higurashi eased the moderate pain I felt. The older guys began their night-before drinking party in a tent a fair bit off, causing quite a ruckus. The shrine grounds, on the other hand, had turned into a lonely road, tickled by the cool evening breeze, despite being so festive just a little while ago. The wind felt good. I leaned on one of the stone guardian dogs at the front of the shrine. I gave my legs a good stretch as I let my mind wander, and suddenly, a paper cup filled with barley tea was thrust before me. Why is she here? Why is she here? I mean, like, what, like... What, she came down from Okonomiya to torment me? I mean, like, I just don't, like...
Thank you,
Her voice sounded exactly the same, but it felt somehow different. Mm-hmm. God. So, like, to clear this up, I'm sure... I'm sure that Shion isn't evil. Right, I'm sure that she isn't evil. Like, I don't actually think that she's just, like, the devil. It's really hard for me to say that, but I realize that it's unfair for me to just say that she's evil. Man, it is rough, though, that is for sure. Like, I guess right now I hate her. I haven't been given any reason to not hate her yet. But I'm completely open to understanding that she isn't completely evil, because I'm sure that she isn't. So... I want to give her all the credit. Can I do that? Can I just give it all to her, please? I hate you. Exactly, thank you. She's just here to ruin everything. Like, I thought we were gonna have a nice little chat with Mion. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you didn't. No, you can't. No. You can't argue with it. You really can. I promise you, you can. Please do. See, and that's the kind of dynamic that I imagine in some way doesn't excuse but explains Shion's actions. I'm sure, like, with the way Mion is, I'm sure it's not just a one-sided thing of Shion tormenting Mion all the time, you know? I mean, maybe it is, but it probably isn't. I'm sure there's a more normal sibling dynamic there, and it's just since I'm on one side of it, and I'm just seeing what Shion is doing to Mion here, that's why I hate her. I'm sure there's more to it. I just, like...
だからこれ仲直りの麦茶ってことで。
That's not enough. I need a lot more than tea. Beautiful. Well, she did come all the way here to give it to me. I guess I'll accept it. I took the cup and downed it in one gulp. And then, suddenly, I heard a loud shout and it got stuck in my throat.
今度はどっちだ？
Thank you.
本物のミオンか？
No, it's... Gion.
あんたなんでまたケイちゃんと一緒にいるわけ？
Literally.
お姉と違って私は気配りとかできるタイプですから、汗だくになってたケイちゃんを放ってお
Oh
け
my
なくて
god.
麦茶を持ってきたわけです。ところでお姉はなんで
I...
麦茶を
Shut up. I hate you. Shut up. Keiichi, throw your cup of tea at Shion. Like, I mean... Take the one that Mion has, drink it immediately. Mion's face went bright red, and she tried to hide the paper cups behind her back. What do you mean?
いやこれは大雑把で自分さえ良ければいいお姉がクラスメートの男の子に海外しく麦茶を
Like,
持って
it's
くる
so
わけない
bad.
ですよね。
Oh my god, it's so bad. Like, shut up. Like, shut up. Shion, stop. You have to stop. I can't, like... Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so... Like, she is good at this. At making Mion feel terrible about everything that she's insecure about. That's crazy.
結局何なんです？その2つの麦茶は。これはそのすっごく喉が渇いちゃって2杯は飲めるかななんて。お姉らしい。
Mm-hmm.
それ一気一気。
As Shion cheered at her, Mion downed both the cups of tea, one after the other.
さすがはお姉、見事な飲みっぷりでした。ケイちゃんも拍手拍手。
Wait, suddenly the situation has gotten unbelievable. Uh-huh. Mion doesn't usually get manipulated so easily like that. I've known for a while now, but Shion is terrifying.
ミオンってシオンには頭上がらないのか？
Doesn't seem like it.
私シオン嫌い。
Me too. Me too. Literally me too. Like, actually me too.
この前からもっと嫌いになった。
Uh-huh. Tomatake? Just then, I heard the snap of a camera shutter. Oh? Huh? Oh, both of them.
こんばんは。
What's up, Tomatake
いよ
and
いよ明日
Mio?
がお祭りだね。今日は準備お疲れさん。
こんばんは。あら、シオンちゃん。
Oh, she knows Shion.
珍しいわね。こっちへ来るなんて。
ありゃ、富武のおじさまに高野さんじゃないですか。こんばんは。ご無沙汰いたしております。
Hmm.
君が噂の転校生、前原圭一君だね。
So, I'm wondering... Is it gonna be Tomatake and, Takano that die again from the curse? Or will it be other people? You know? I just wonder, like... Because if it's someone different, I feel like that's actually very important, if it's not them who die tomorrow, you know? Because that to me would make me feel like it had to be something that happened leading up to the Watanagashi. Like, the difference between what has happened in Onikashi compared to this chapter that, like, has made it change, has influenced who dies from the curse this year, you know?
今日は張り切って仕事してたね。感心したよ。
His voice is different. I feel like I've seen this photographer guy before.
どこかでお会いしてますよね。
覚えててくれて嬉しいね。圭一君とは道で何度かすれ違ってるよ。僕は富武。東京から来てるフリーのカメラマンさ。
This voice doesn't fit him as much. What happened? What, his voice actor is sick? I don't know.
じゃあ、私はわかるかしら。
He's not gonna remember. He's still not gonna remember.
すみません。
Yeah.
覚えがないです。
高野美代さんだよ。ケイちゃんはまだ風邪とかで診療所のお世話にはなってない？
Oh, okay.
美代さんは
診療所で看護師さんをやってるんだよ。
高野よ。よろしくね。治療に来るときは教えてね。太めの注射針を用意しておくから。
Thank you. Thanks.
そりゃご丁寧にどうも
Yeah, awesome. Tomitake-san seemed to be quite entertained at the Sonozaki twins being in the same place, and he took picture after picture.
話には聞いていたけど、知らん性ソーセージってのは初めて見たよ。本当にそっくりなんだな。
They sure do.
そっくりなのは外見だけじゃないんですよ。
Okay.
ほら、下着もお揃い。
What are you doing? Literally. Things have never been as lively as when the two of them are together. I thought they were exactly the same at first, but I've started to get a handle on which one is which. Yeah, Shion is the evil one, and Mion is normal. Mion is Mion, and Shion, well, she seems a far better actor than Mion was. In the first place, somebody that could spurn Mion so easily wouldn't have shown such weakness to those lard buckets at Angel Mort. Okay, I mean, like, I don't know about that. We're really viewing her in this, like, one-dimensional way. I don't think Shion's being fake about all that. Like, she's not, you know, I think this is a very much a Mion-centric thing when she acts like this, right? Like, I don't think she was being completely fake at Angel Mort, and she was, like, pretending to be embarrassed. If that was the case, then that cowardly behavior from that day was all a complete act.
あの二人、昔はもっとそっくりでね。ご
Oh.
両親でもどっちがどっちかわからなくて手を焼いていたそうよ。
すごく想像に容易です。ご両親のご苦労がよくわかります。
Takano gave me kind of an odd look, but explaining would have been a pain, so I didn't bother. I don't know why I couldn't read that sentence.
富武のおじさまはまた渡流しの取材が終わったら東京にとんぼ帰りですか？
Read that again. Okay. I guess what does he mean that he totally understands?
本当はいつ
I don't
まで
know.
も滞在していたいんだけどね。
He's talking about her parents stuff. He is talking about, yeah, he's talking about their parents. He means, okay, yeah, never mind. I thought he was saying he understood what Mion and Shion were going through. Like, what? What do you, okay.
しがない大人の都合ってやつさ。
Gotta have a job.
お写真が早く素敵な賞を取るといいですね。
ありがとう。
Oops. I skipped
今
that.
度来るときには今日撮った君たちの写真も持ってくるよ。
今日は前原くんもお疲れ様。慣れない力仕事で疲れたでしょ？
まあ、疲れたけど、結構楽しかったです。
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was.
若さね。羨ましい
Takano
わ。
smiled with an adult elegance that no one in my circle of friends possessed. The wind caught her hair. She gives off an intelligent beauty. Okay. Hey, KJ, we gotta calm down. Oh, hi. What's up? Okay, so Shion didn't seem to like Oishi very much, did she? It seemed like our merry crowd was standing out. This time, an overweight older man addressed us. And again, it was someone I thought I knew. If I recall correctly, he's a policeman, isn't he? It's weird that he's here. I mean, I know why he's here, right? It's Watanagashi. I mean, Watanagashi's tomorrow.
あ
But...
ら、大石さん。こんばんは。明日の警備の下見ですか？
Going back to that crazy shit in Onikashi about Oishi-san being the messenger of Oyashiro-sama, whatever that means. Remember, there was the thing about him meeting with, like, Rika's parents before they died. Or no, it was he met with Sadako's aunts before she died, right? And if Mio and Tomitake both die this year, too. I mean, maybe that's like a crazy connection to be making. But, like, you know, I don't know. I just have no idea how seriously I should even take that, the whole messenger of Oyashiro-sama thing. I kind of think it's, like, not literal, but...
そんなところです。おや、富武くんじゃないですか。ご無沙汰しておりますね。
僕の名前を覚えていてくださ
Yeah,
ったと
how
は
does he know
光栄ですよ。
Tomitake?
あなたもつくづくひなみ沢が好きですな。
I mean, I guess Tomitake is always here on Watanagashi, right?
ここいらへんは東京よりもずっとアパートは安いですよ。いっそ引っ越してくればいいのに。
Yeah, really?
仲のいい不動産屋を紹介しますよ。
それは嬉しいですね。その説はぜひお世話に
Oh,
なりたい
okay.
です。
Sure. That's very different.
ではでは皆さん、
Maybe it's being
良
polite
い
though.
お年を。
Very different from in Onikashi when he said it was impossible for him to move here, you
そ
know.
の先の双子さんも良いお年を。
良いお年を、大石刑事。
Hmm.
お仕事よろしくお願いしますね。
It sounds like you
今
sure
年
do.
は皆さんの手を煩わせない綿流しにしたいです。
こりゃ手厳しい。
Hmm. Detective Oishi left us with a low laugh and headed off to talk to some police officers standing a ways away. So he's obviously suspicious of the Sonozakis, just like in Onikashi, right? I gave Mion a glance and saw her making an annoyed face, as if she were glaring bullets at someone she hated.
そうね。今年は警察のお世話にならない綿流しになるといいわね。
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna learn stuff right now? Or is Keiichi gonna learn the stuff right now?
君も好きだね。
あら、二郎さんは嫌い？
I'll say that's very much, there's like a very much a double meaning there, right? Like, she's not just saying it would be nice if there was no murder this year, but it's just nice if the police, you know, didn't do anything about it, I guess.
私、そういう夢のある話好きよ。潤いのない時代だからこそ、そういうのに憧れるの。
Mm-hmm.
お社様のたたりか。
Yeah. Curse. Tomitake-san used a troubling word. Then, suddenly, someone tugged on my arm.
ケイちゃん、私お腹空いちゃったからさ。酒盛りのテントに行ってお菓子でも食べてこない？
Oh no, why would you ask me that? Why would you ask right now? Why would you ask right now? Like, hello? Just after we just got this, she's asking this, and Keishi's gonna say no, because of course he has to know about the curse, and that's gonna ruin everything about the relationship that they're trying to rebuild right now, and it's all over.
そうだな。
Oh, maybe not.
俺もちょっとお腹が減ったかな。
行こう行こ
A moment later, Shion said something to Takano and Tomitake that stung my ears and gave me a start. God damn it.
う。今年は誰が死んで、
Okay, yeah.
誰が消えるんでしょうね。
Okay. So remember how I've said about how like Oishi is like an idiot? He's either an idiot or he was seriously just doing some crazy manipulation of Keiichi during Onikashi, right? And I maybe both, probably both. More likely the latter, primarily. But like, it's common knowledge that there's a death from the curse and that there's an Onikashi, that there's a disappearance every year, right? Like obviously Shion says that. I'm sure that's just common knowledge, right? So why was Oishi acting like it was this crazy revelation that Keiichi himself came up with when they were having that phone call during Onikashi, right? Like, there's no way that's not just common knowledge that Oishi already knows, you know? Like, and maybe that's like something stupid to be so hung up on, but it's he made like such a like Keiichi pretty much had to like spell it out for Oishi as if he had just never thought about this before. I pulled back from Mion's grip and stopped abruptly.
シオン、今なんて言ったんだ？
Ooh. It felt like the air around us dried out all of a sudden. I wonder what Mion is gonna
行
think.
こうよ、ケイちゃん。
Oh, just, yeah, that again.
つまんない話だよ。
And I wonder how much of her hesitance for people to talk about this is like being embarrassed by her own involvement during like the dam protests, you know? Because we know she got like in trouble with the cops when she was like 10, which is crazy. But she was obviously like so upset that Keiichi knew about that stuff when he spilled the beans in Onikashi.
お姉はまだケイちゃんに話してないの？私、そういう話は吹き込まない主義なの。
And we also know that Mion apparently doesn't believe in Oyashida-sama, right? Shion's cold and quiet tone and Mion's harsh voice were quite the contrast.
おいおいおいおい、何の話だよ。知ってるなら教えてくれよ。俺だけのけ者なんて、なんだか気分悪いぞ。
I don't understand this. Someone explain it to me. However, Mion didn't seem to be at all willing to grant my request. She squeezed my hand in hers a bit, but when she realized I would hold my ground on this topic, she let go.
じゃあさ、 私先に酒盛りのテントに行ってるよ。
And it's like Shion is the one who's telling him this stuff. It's Mion's the one hiding it from him. And it's like, think about like what that's gonna mean for Keiichi and like the way he views both of them.
早く来ないとケイちゃんの分なくなっちゃうからね。
Yeah.
ああ、分かってるって。すぐ行くから。
Mion left, trotting towards a particularly noisy tent on the other side of the shrine grounds. Before she got there, she stopped and turned back around. I showed no signs of going after her, though, so she ran off. Yeah, it's just like her. She wants him to follow her, obviously.
もしも聞いてないんだったら話してもいいけど、ひょっとすると聞かないで彼女と一緒にお菓子を食べに行った方が賢明かもしれないよ。
Mm-hmm. Hey now, you've already gotten my full attention here. I'm not going to leave without asking at this point.
ケイちゃんにも聞く権利があると思います。お姉はその権利を奪ってただけです。
Yeah, okay, and Shion's just like directly framing it in that way. Awesome. Shion's voice was bristling with thorns, as if she was somehow blaming me.
一体何の話だって言うんですか？あんまりもったいぶられると不愉快ですよ。
Takano-san, realizing how prepared I was, looked across the group. After confirming that there were no objections, she opened her mouth.
前原君はタタリを信じるかしら？
No.
タタリですか？面白いとは思いますけど、あんまり信じては。
I felt their cynical stares and winced. It was like they were telling me it was stranger not to believe in curses.
ケイちゃんは間違ってないですよ。タタリなんて迷信もいい。
Okay. Interesting.
信じなくて当たり前です。
そうね。それにタタリを信じるかどうかは話を最後まで聞いてからゆっくり考えればいいことなんだから。
I'm sure, said Takano-san, giving a little smile. They're trying to scare me. At least that's what it feels like.
じゃあ少し僕が話そうか。圭一君はひなみ沢ダム計画を知ってるかね？
Oh yeah, the other day at Angelmore, Shion, or Mion rather, told me all about it.
確かひなみ沢が丸ごと水没する
Wait, he
巨大なダムの計画が発表されたって言うんですよね。
he corrected himself wrong on that. It should have been okay.
それに反対するために住民運動が結成され、国と激しい戦いを繰り広げたんだ。
I've heard that too. The entire village united, using all the power at their disposal, mass media, political influence, and other things, and fought the country. The way Mion described it made it sound like a boast.
あれ？ずいぶん詳しいじゃないか。そう、その通りさ。
Yeah, I guess that is true. Like they were saying the thing about Mion being embarrassed about her involvement in it, but like she really isn't, right? She does like to brag about it. So,
わずか1000人ちょいの村人たちが中心になって結束して国の施策を跳ね返したというちょっとした武勇伝なんだ。
Sorry, I gotta read this again. Okay.
その辺はお姉に聞かされてませんか？この辺りの武勇伝はお姉も好きですからね。
Wasn't it you two who talked about it at Angel Moore? Am I losing my mind? When was Mion ever at Angel Moore? Like, am I losing my mind?
ああ、話してたよ。
そのひなみ沢の人たちが結束して旗揚げした反対同盟の事務所があったのがね、この神社なんだよ。
ほら、あの集会所がその名残よ。解散後は老人会のサークル活動にしか使われてないけど、当時はまさに最後の砦だったの。
Yeah, the Onigashiki Guardians, right? Takano-san explained this, pointing a finger towards the assembly hall. I had been carrying things in and out of there all day. I mean, I would understand if they put an office like that in the mayor's house or something, but having an office on shrine grounds made it feel kind of like a base camp for Sengoku period warriors. Sengoku?
そんな心境だったんだろうね。彼らはひなみ沢の守り神様であるお社様を祀る神社に本陣を置くことで必勝を祈願したんだよ。
Oyashiro-sama. That was definitely it. They mentioned Oyashiro-sama's curse before. Is it the same Oyashiro-sama? No, it's a different one.
圭一君はお社様は知ってるかい？この神社の祀る神様の名前だよ。
Although, like, I didn't know this, someone told me in a comment, but Yashiro just means shrine, right? So, like, to me, this just feels like a placeholder name. You know? Like, this doesn't feel like the real name of the god, you know? Maybe...
ひなみ沢を守ってると伝えられてる。
いや、よくは知らないです。
そうか。じゃあ、ここから先は高野さんの方が詳しいかな。タッチ。
平たく言えばそのままよ。お社様はこのひなみ沢に伝わる古い神様で、神聖なこの地が属性に汚されることがないよう守り続けてきたと伝えられてるわ。
But it's, you know, as we learned in Onikashi, it's almost like Orishiro-sama is protecting the outside world from the villagers. So essentially, he's a basic standard guardian deity. I guess you can find that sort of god anywhere you go.
お社様崇拝は一種の先民思想の表れではないかと研究されているわね。
Okay, sorry, I had to read my notes for a second and make sure I wasn't wrong about something.
先民思想って言葉、わかるかしら？
Okay. Believing yourself chosen, a nationalistic belief that you are part of a superior race, or that you're a special clan chosen by the gods. They believe that they're a superior clan, so they believe strongly in cooperating with others, but they also end up being exclusionary towards other clans. I won't go into too much detail, but it's the sort of national and religious ideas that lead to war. Of course, that goes for Japan
大
too.
昔のひなみ沢の人たちは、自分たちは人間とは異なる格の違う存在だと強く信じていてね。
Yeah, Japan has quite the history of nationalism, doesn't it?
下界との交流を汚れとして意味嫌ったそうなの。だから村に下界の人間が来ると、汚れてお社様の罰が当たると強く信じ、何者も近寄らせなかったそうよ。
よそ者を嫌う村ってよく推理小説に出てくるだろ。典型的なそういう村だったらしいんだよ。
一応名誉のために断りますけど、大昔のことですからね。
Okay,
今は
sure.
違います。
Yeah, they really are, right? Everyone's very welcoming of Keiichi. It's really... Yeah. She unfollowed up quickly, having sensed the thorns in Tomitake-san's words. Tomitake-san, embarrassed at what he said, scratched at his head. So this shrine worships Orishiro-sama, thinks of Hinamizawa as holy ground, and it's a symbol of their traditional hatred of the outside world.
なるほど。だから下界からやってきた汚れたダム計画に立ち向かうために、ひなみ沢の守り神様の神社に本陣を置いたと。
Oh, I mean, kinda. That was only 4 years ago, though. Correct, smiled Takano, pleased. She must dislike stupid people.
円担ぎも万端。
I'm just saying, like, if they were still thinking like this 4 years ago, that it was a, it was a solid dam construction project from the outside, then that mindset must not have changed much, right? Like, obviously, there's a lot of reasons for them to not like the dam project that would destroy their entire village, but if it's like for this weird, village pride reason, then...
村人たちは視力を尽くしてダム計画に立ち向かうんだ。その最中なんだよ。事実上、あの事件でとどめが入ったと言ってもいい。
The incident. Orishiro-sama's curse.
ひなみ沢ダムの建設現場の監督がですね。
バラバラ
殺されちゃった
殺人。
んです。4年前かな。結構派手に新聞に載ったんですけど、
Oops.
ちょっと知らないな。
部下と喧嘩して、ツルハシでめった打ちにされて、両手両足、首をもいで捨てられたんだそうです。
I don't buy that story still, but sure.
バラバラ殺人だよ。
Mm-hmm.
一頃流行ったろ。
They were all the rage at one point. Such a gruesome incident. But it was just that, an incident. A person caused the incident, after all. Should they really put it down to the curse? I'm just trying to glean, like, any new information from this, Like we already know this, right? But there has to be a reason why we're being told this before. I mean, not before, again, right? And I feel like a large part of it is, like, the perspective, Because, like, when Keiichi was learning this in Onikashi, it felt like it was, like, some crazy underground secret conspiracy, But now it's just a bunch of villagers coming up to him and being like, oh, you don't already know this? That's crazy. Let us tell you all about it, So, like, obviously in Keiichi's mind, I feel like it's going to have seriously different... It's going to feel very different for him than it did in Onikashi, right? A person caused the incident, after all. Should they really put it down to the curse? Yeah, the first one. I don't know.
ひなみ沢の住人でありながら、ダム推進派のグループを結成していた男が、
So he didn't just support the
旅
dam.
行先で崖から落ちて死んじゃったの。これは事故だそうよ。
何しろ、ひなみ沢中から敵視されていたからね。
Is he gonna learn that that was Sadako's parents?
警察もかなり念入りに他殺の線を洗ったんだけど、結局事故と断定したみたいだよ。
Now it's an accident. This is the most curse-like one, but it's still far-fetched.
さらに翌年、今度はね、この神社の神主さんが原因不明の病で倒れて急死しちゃったの。
前の神主さんはこう言っちゃ失礼ですけど、ちょっと日和見な人だったんですよね。
A wait-and-see
村
type?
中が半ダムで盛り上がってる。
Oh, I see. Okay.
神主さんは放っておけみたいな感じで。
Okay, sure. Wasn't like a strong leader, I suppose, in a
抵
way.
抗運動の象徴である神社の神主さんがそんな感じなんだからね。
Yeah.
リーダーシップを期待していた当時の村人たちは失望し、中には怒りを抱く人たちもいたそうよ。だから当時、年寄り連中はみんな言ったんです。これはお社様のたたりだってね。
It did seem like every year, a dam-related people the village had resentment towards were dying. It was pretty creepy.
しかもね、面白いことに、これらの事件や事故は毎年必ず綿流しのお祭りの晩に起こるんだよ。
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess he would, yeah, again, that's not news to me, so like, hate you freaking out about that. Yeah, he didn't know that. Yeah, right.
ね、ちょっとたたりっぽくなってきたでしょ。
さらに翌年。
It's almost like, it's like I'm a villager, and Keiichi's the outsider. It's like, yeah, I'm like, duh, come on, Keiichi, catch up.
つまり去年だね。今度は事故死したダム推進派のリーダー格の男の弟夫婦の奥さんが撲殺死体で発見されちゃったんだ。
By, with a baseball bat, maybe, from a certain Tenkose, I don't know.
もちろん犯人は捕まったけどね。
ね、やっぱりたたりっぽいでしょ。
4 years in a row. Each one of the incidents and accidents were relatively commonplace. But every single one of them happening on the night of the festival worshipping Oyashiro-sama, that's not normal.
年寄り連中はこの数年の事件ですっかりお社様のたたりを盲信しちゃって、若い人たちだって最初はバカにしてましたけど、今は誰も茶化しませんね。
I'm wondering if like Keiichi having a much more like grounded and normal like discovery of all of this information, if he will actually talk to like Ruka and Sadako and Rena about it this time. That would be very nice. Yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Even me. If I didn't think there was a curse at all, thinking about all the incidents like this makes me feel like maybe it's real.
例えば今日のお祭り準備にしてもそうさ。ダムとの戦いで荒れていたとはいえ、何年か前までは綿流しはそんなに盛況していたわけじゃないんだよ。
Let me read that again, I'm sorry. Okay.
まあそうですね。お社様のたたりの話がなかったらこんなにお祭りには集まりませんね。不信心者には罰が当たるかもしれない。だからお社様のお祭りには必ず出ようって言ってる人たち多いです。
Shion nodded as if she were mocking
どう
herself.
かな。ケイイチ君もひょっとしてたたりは本当にあるのではという気になってきたんじゃないかな。
I sure am. I mean, you can't just laugh off people related to the dam construction project all dying like that. If even I feel like this now, then the more superstitious members of the village must feel stronger than that.
まあそれでもたたりなんかないと思ってます。ですけど信じる人たちの気持ちもわかるつもりです。
さすがケイちゃんは冷静に判断できてますね。
Shion grinned, realizing I'd rejected the curse.
たたりでもなく偶然のはずもないなら、さて て。
Well,
これらの事件はどういうことになるのかしらね。
you think village conspiracy is the only other option, right? Takano said, smiling playfully, as if posing a riddle. Neither a curse nor a coincidence, but every year someone dies. What should we make of that, then? Tomitake-san, catching on to the fact that I had no idea what to make of it, opened his mouth and came to my aid.
高野さんはね、
Mm-hmm.
人間の仕業かもしれないって言ってるんだよ。
Eh? Simple process of elimination would have got me there. I was a little taken aback at not having realized the answer immediately. It's because it's just like the mental block about it that I also have. I can't accept that, like, Rena and Mion and Sadako and Ruka have anything to do with it, so.
だってそうでしょ。たたりでもなく偶然でもないなら、人の意志が働いてるとしか考えられないもの。
Maybe. Takano-san pressed on. I smiled bitterly in spite of myself. Here I was just a few minutes ago, thinking the very concept of a curse was absolutely absurd. When she suggested it was someone's doing, I ended up thinking there wasn't any way it could be a person. But Takano-san was right. It was either a curse or it was a person's doing. If unrealistic things like curses didn't exist, then the obvious next step would be to start thinking it was people behind it. But if that was the case, I glanced at Shion.
人間が犯人なら、確かにひなみ沢の誰かが犯人なんでしょうね。
Yeah. Doesn't have to be one person now, obviously.
現に警察の大石さんはそう見てますから。
おいおい、そんなわけあるのかよ。
I thought I now knew the reason Mion didn't want to talk about this. If Orishiro-sama's curse really existed, then that's fine. It would be divine judgment for the Dam Project business. However, if Orishiro-sama's curse didn't exist, which it obviously didn't, then the culprit would most likely be someone from Hinamizawa. It's making fun of me for thinking about the curse. The villagers had worked desperately to oppose the dam construction project. I knew they had used all sorts of methods to fight against it. If one of those methods was,
お社
maybe...
様のたたりはダム計画抵抗運動の暗部じゃないかって囁かれてるんです。
I guess like the idea behind it would be to prevent the dam project from ever starting again by having this crazy curse. Like if they can convince everyone that this curse is real, then who is going to come here to start the dam project again, you know? Shion dryly put my words to my exact thoughts. Of course, I didn't expect it. She was from Hinamizawa, so I didn't think she'd come out and say it
ちょ
herself.
っと落ち着いて考えれば、誰が見たってひなみ沢の誰かの仕業だってわかることです。ダム工事に反対して得をする人以外、動機がないじゃないですか。
それはそうだけど。
Admitting to the existence of a darker side of the dam conflict would be rude to Mion, who spoke of it so highly. So I couldn't just accept Shion's seemingly logical viewpoint.
それにね、警察の人は知らないだろうけど、ひなみ沢の人間にはわかる、ひなみ沢の人間の犯行だという証拠があるんです。
There's proof that someone from Hinamizawa committed the crimes. Like someone in specific? Shion rebukes me to keep my voice down.
ごめん。でもその証拠って一体。
Please.
必ず一人が死んで、もう一人が消えるからです。
That's that's what we like to call circumstantial evidence. I don't know about proof. Like one more person disappears. Did that mean that someone besides the one who died from the curse was a sacrifice?
消えるって意味がよくわからないな。
Oh, transfer, of course.
それは失踪するって意味か？
そうです。忽然と跡形もなく。
As she spoke, Shion pretended to do a trick with her hands, like she were making a magician's hat disappear. So, like, I want to, like, clear something up, because I don't know if I'm completely, literally insane. Where is it? Like, we keep talking about how Mion spoke about the dam project so highly, the dam conflict. Am I crazy, or has that not happened in this chapter? Am I completely insane? Am I completely misremembering the context of that conversation? Wasn't that Keiichi talking to Shion at Angelmort when she was on break that one time? Like, am I completely insane? Am I like, I've just been thinking about this half of this time because I just like, have I just created false memories in my mind? I'm just completely wrong. I swear to God, they were at Angelmort and it was Keiichi talking to Shion when she was on break, right? When did Mion talk about the dam conflicts in this chapter? Am I crazy? Am I insane? I don't think so. But they've mentioned this like 3 times now, so But when was Mion ever at Angelmore? Unless Mion was also working at Angelmore, and it actually was Mion half of the time, and it was Shion half of the time. That would be completely insane, so I hope not. And in case he's just, like, not acknowledging that, I don't know. Unless I'm just do I need to go back and rewatch some of my previous episodes? I just have no idea. I don't know. But, like, I swear to God, that's what happened. So, I don't know. One dies a mysterious death, and one disappears, never to be seen again. A strange vanishing act. Like, obviously, we saw Mion talk positively about the damn conflict in Onikakushi when Keiichi asked her about it the first time, but then why? How does that equate to someone from Hinamizawa being the culprit?
実はね、南沢の古い伝統の一つにね、お社様の怒りを鎮めるために生贄を捧げたというのがあるの。
生贄？
ええ、すまきにされて底なし沼に生きたままじわじわと時間をかけて沈めたんです。
Takano-san, though explaining something pretty terrible, has a look of glee on her face as she did so.
文献を調べた限りでは3日3晩をかけて
Oh God.
本当にゆっくりとじわじわと沈めたそうよ。
Well, it is bottomless after all.
ほら、昔の人って結構ダジャレが好きでしょ。沈めるをかけてたんだと思うの。だから時間をかけて沈めるという意味があったんでしょうね。
Sure. Takano-san was the only one laughing at this. Was she telling a joke or something? Shion didn't move to deny it, but I felt a difference in temperature between her cool expression and Takano-san's.
この辺の話はまあ聞いて想像がつくと思いますけど、ひなみ沢の秘史です。ひなみ沢に昔からいる人なら誰でも知ってますが、それを口に出すことはありませんね。
高野さんはひなみ沢出身じゃないけどね、詳しいだろ。彼女は郷土史とか民間伝承とかが好きでね、全部独学で調べたんだよ。
そんなにかっこいいものじゃないのよ。単なる知的好奇心。子供と同じよ。ただの怖いもの見たさ程度なんだから。
Tamatake-san laughed, a little bit embarrassed.
ちょっと待ってください。ってことは何ですか？事件のたびに消えるという一人は生贄に捧げられているって言うんですか？
I don't believe that. I just don't believe. I guess I'm so locked in on the idea that I'm so locked in on the idea that the person who gets Onikakushi'd is the person who kills the person from the curse. And the only reason is we know that is the case from the first one. I mean, like, basically, right? The dismemberment murder. Because they emphasize over and over and over again that it was the main perpetrator that was never found. That was Onikakushi, right? And then in the last one, the one last year with Satoshi and Sadako's aunts, I swear to God, he beat her to death with the baseball bat. Just like Keiichi beat Rena and Mion to death with the baseball bat. And just like Rena attacked her classmates at their old school with the baseball bat. And then Satoshi was Onikakushi'd, right? But I don't know. Yeah. Shion answers in one word before anyone else can speak. But maybe that's still connected. Maybe, I don't know, you beat them to death and then everyone gangs up on you and sacrifices you afterwards. I guess. Someone dies, then someone disappears.
本当に生贄にされてるかどうかは別にして、過去の事件では必ず一人が死ぬことに一人が消えてるんだ。例えば一番最初のダム現場の監督が殺された事件も、複数犯のうちの最後の一人が未だ逮捕されてないらしいんだ。
And then it was the wife, and then it was the wife again, and then it was Satoshi.
うまく逃げおせてるだけなんじゃないんですか？別に生贄にされたというのとは違うのでは？
まあ、僕もそうだとは思うんだけどね。で、次の年のダム推進派のリーダー格の男なんだけど。
確か旅行先で崖から落ちて亡くなったんですよね。
落ちたのは奥さんも一緒らしい。警察は懸命に捜索したんだけど、どうしても奥さんの遺体だけ見つけ、崖下の川は増水してたそうだからね。どこか川下の湖の湖底で 土砂にでも埋まってしまったのかもしれないけど。
Maybe. Been a few years though. The perpetrator of a dismemberment like that wouldn't want to be caught, so they'd be desperate to run away and hide too. I thought I'd heard about cases where the corpse wouldn't surface after the person drowned in the swelled river like that. She vanished because of an unfortunate accident, but I still didn't see the connection to sacrifices. If you took each of the past incidents in turn, none of the disappearances evoked that terrifying of an image.
その翌年の神主の病死の時ははっきりしてます。奥さんが遺書を残したんです。死んでお社様のお怒りを鎮めてもらいます。ってな感じで。
Oh no, that was yeah.
神主さんが亡くなった晩に自宅に残されてたそうですから。
It was the main perpetrator of the dismemberment killing that left the note right by the swamp, right, with the abandoned car, right? That's what it was, I think. And then she apparently threw herself into the swamp, right? The curse. It seems to turn up in this one now.
まあ、真相は闇の中なんだけどね。その奥さんが受水自殺した沼は、さっき高野さんも話した例のでっかい
Which is like such an insane way to commit suicide that I don't.
警察も沼を調べたそうだけど、遺品がいくつか見つかっただけで遺体は発見できなかった。警察は偽装自殺を疑って今も探してるらしいよ。
Yeah. Someone dies every year, and in the same way, someone goes missing every year. Is she trying to tell me that everyone who vanished was kidnapped by some extremely efficient means and dumped into the bottomless swamp, still alive, and drowned to death? But a curse? That's unbelievable in its own right. I mean, like maybe, right? That kind of seems like that might have been what was going to happen to Keiichi at the end of Watanagashi, so I don't know.
その翌年には、なんだっけ、ダム推進派の男の弟夫婦の奥さんだっけが殺されたんだよな。
So, at that time, someone else vanished? He's gonna learn about Sachi right now?
北条聡君っていう、私と同い年の男の子です。
With the last name.
殺された主婦の義理の甥にあたります。
So he now knows about the Sadako connection too. Shion cut in with a slightly strong tone of voice. She knew the boy who had disappeared pretty well, or at least that's the vibe I was getting. Okay. He's not gonna think about Sadako? Come on.
こんな感じね。必ず一人が死んで。
You're not gonna think about how both of Rika's parents are dead either? Leaving the suddenness aside, the fact that each incident involved one person disappearing.
じゃあ、つまり
The fact was that, yeah.
一人目が死ぬのはお社様のたたりで、二人目が失踪するのは村人が生贄に捧げてるからだって言うんですか？
Maybe. That's not the full picture, that's for sure.
ケイちゃん、たたりなんかないです。
Sure, if you say
誰か
so.
がお社様のたたりという名で一人目を殺し、誰かがその生贄として二人目をさらってるんです。
I guess.
でもシオン、それじゃ村の中に犯人がいるってことになるんだぞ。
私は初めからそう睨んでます。結構ショックですよ。この昭和の時代にそんな古い因習で人殺しが堂々と行われるなんて。
It didn't have anything to do with our discussion, but I got the feeling that maybe Shion didn't like Hinamizawa very much. Mion enjoyed talking about Hinamizawa and its epic tales, so she had avoided talking about Oyashiro-sama's curse, which didn't paint Hinamizawa in a good light, no matter how you looked at it. She was trying not to give me a bad impression of the village, so she didn't say anything. Shion, on the other hand, was somehow different. She wasn't rejecting the concept of a curse to purge Hinamizawa of this bad impression, but rather because she strongly believed that a member of the village was the criminal behind this. Her conviction seemed a bit removed from the tight sense of community held by the people of Hinamizawa. Once upon a time, they looked so alike you couldn't mistake one for the other. But talking to her now, I was getting a powerful feeling that Shion had a completely different personality from Mion.
じゃあ皆さんはひなみ沢の誰かが犯人だと思ってるんですね。
Neither Shion nor Takano-san answered that. The deafening silence told me all that needed to be said.
じゃあ重ねて質問します。ひなみ沢の誰かが犯人なら犯人は誰なんですか？
Neither Shion nor Takano-san had a reply to that question either. It's not just one person, obviously. If it is a person, I'm still, like, not... it's the game is trying to convince me. Like, if last chapter was the curse chapter, this seems like it's gonna be the person chapter, so... like, I don't know. Though it may have been rude to ask, I had hoped they wouldn't have one. The reason I asked was to argue that their explanation that the culprit was from Hinamizawa was nothing more than one possibility. Shion caught on to my plan. She gave a pained smile at my petty spite and opened her mouth to speak.
私が言ったのは、所詮状況証拠です。
Exactly. Exactly.
具体的に犯人の名前を知ってたなら、警察に突き出してます。
It's interesting that she seems to dislike Oishi so much, though. As would anybody. Then what about Takano-san? She too smiled dryly as Shion had and opened her mouth.
初めに誤解を解いておきたいんだけど、
Please do.
別に私は探偵さんのつもりはないのよ。本音を言うとね、犯人が誰かなんてことには興味ないの。
Okay.
高野さんも困った人だな。
Tamatake-san gives a bitter laugh at her surprising opinion on the matter.
私はね、古式ゆかしい残酷な風習やおとぎ話に興味があるだけ。
If you say so.
知的好奇心で面白がってるだけなの。だから一連の事件も犯人は誰かってことよりも事件の存在自体が古い因習がまだ根深く残ってることの証拠だって思って面白がってるくらい。
Though she described herself as nothing more than a curious onlooker, her smile was as sharp as the tip of a blade. Women like her felt very strange and a little scary to me. Maybe it's just that I was in fearful awe of the person whose emotions I couldn't comprehend.
私は全然面白くないですけどね。明日はいよいよ渡流しのお祭りですけど、誰にも死んでほしくないし、誰も消えてほしくないです。
明日か。
That's right. It had completely slipped my mind. The string of murder incidents people attributed to Oishiro-sama's curse, it wasn't over. If last year's incident wasn't the end, then tomorrow night at the festival, would someone die and someone disappear?
明日は一体誰が死んで誰が消え
I
る
really do wonder. I really do wonder if it's gonna be Takano and Tomitake again. I don't know. Takano-san said, running a comb through her hair with elegant movements, with a thin smile and a voice that nearly made me shudder. She almost looked like she was enjoying the thought of the incidents that could happen tomorrow. Then, out of the blue, we heard a loud round of applause. They seemed to be ending the drinking party early, and of course, Keiichi didn't meet up with Mion. Right, I was making Mion wait this whole time, wasn't I? I should go back to her soon.
高野さんもからかいすぎだよ。ケイチ君がすっかり真に受けてしまったじゃないか。
Yeah, we made it all up. Sorry, man.
また悪い癖が出ちゃったみたい。
Said Takano-san, sticking out her tongue bashfully. The strangeness in her expression was nowhere to be found.
高野さんはね、純粋そうな子を見るとからかいたくなる悪い癖があるんだよ。ケイチ君も真剣に聞いてくれるもんだから、ついつい調子に乗っちゃったみたいなんだ。
This is a good thumbnail, I feel like. Unlike Takano-san, Tamatake-san seemed like a totally normal person with common sense. What a different way to view him now than he did in Onikachi at the start, right? He was so mean to Tomitake. They were apologizing after realizing what kind of impression they'd given me.
高野さんが今した話はあくまでもフィクションだからね。もしもさっきの話でケイチ君がひなみ沢に持ってたいい印象が傷つけられてしまったなら、純粋に申し訳なく思うよ。
もう二郎さんたら。
高野さんも謝った方がいい。怖がらせてしまってごめんなさいってね。
Takano-san and Tomitake-san were arguing and messing around now. The strained air around us had already dissipated. Well, Keiichi's all caught up.
ケイちゃんもそろそろ戻った方がいいです。
So I just wonder where we're gonna go. I just don't know.
お姉は嫉妬深いですからね。私は顔を合わせると喧嘩になりそうだから、
And yeah, no
こ
kidding.
のまま帰ることにします。
Well, I think you already kind of ruined everything, so... You know.
そうなのか？じゃあ俺はミオンのとこに戻って待たせたことを謝るかな。
迷惑をかけたね、ケイチ君。ミオンちゃんにケイチ君を長く借りすぎて申し訳ないと伝えてくれないかな。
あ、はい。伝えても機嫌は直さないと思いますけど、一応。
True. Tomitake-san and Takano-san, standing next to each other, both began to chuckle.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。明日のお祭り。
Let's not.
どこかですれ違えるといいです
How
ね。
about we don't? How about we don't? How about we don't do
会え
that?
るよ。どうせ俺たちのことだ。賑やかにやってるに決まってる。
I wish we wouldn't. Shion and I said our goodbyes to Tomitake-san and Takano-san. Before we could leave, Takano-san called out to us.
私の話を真剣に聞いてくれてありがとうね。前原くんがあまりに聞き上手だったんで、話しててとても楽しかったわ。
Thank you, Takano.
聞き上手なんて、そんな。
I was just in a state of perpetual bewilderment from all the shocking topics being thrown at me one after another.
今日した話、面白かった？
まあ、興味深かったです。
なら、また今度も聞いてくれる？ひなみ沢の昔話とかおとぎ話にも興味深いものがたくさんあるの。もちろん、薄気味悪いのがたくさんね。
Please do, honestly.
私特選のをたくさん披露するわよ。
Assuming you're still alive this time tomorrow. Well, you will be. Assuming you're still alive in 36 hours from now. I was kind of happy, but kind of worried. I can't help but smile dryly and scratch my head.
ケイチ君、もう行ってもいいんだよ。高野さんがからかっているだけさ。
They say goodbye again and run off. I heard Tomitake-san call out behind him in a clear voice that we would see each other at the festival tomorrow. Okay. When I went to the tent Neon was waiting for me in, she was nowhere to be found. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, we really... God. I mean, it's just like... I mean, yeah. I think it very obviously connects to the stuff I've been saying, that it's just, like... Man. Not good. I made her wait so long. Maybe she got mad and went home. After asking some adults passing by, I heard that she went home, talking to some relatives. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. But my regret for having Neon wait wasn't enough to triumph over the impression Takano-san and Shion's uncanny story left on me. Serial murder incidents had happened 4 years in a row. Would tomorrow's events make this the 5th? And the possibility that someone from Hinamizawa was carrying this all out under the guise of the curse. The queer tradition of ritual sacrifice, entirely unbecoming of the Showa period we lived in. I regretted it a little, though it was too late. If none of those creepy stories had anything to do with me, then I should have let Mion pull me away from that crowd. I felt a little ashamed about letting my cheap curiosity get the better of me. Just, it's not good. It's really feels like it's mirroring Onikashi now in a way, right? Even though I just finished talking about how it wasn't earlier. Because it just feels like the same thing. It's him, he's prioritizing looking into the village and digging up these secrets more so than... We're gonna have to read the tips next time, unfortunately. That was a really long one. And I have a headache, unfortunately. So, yeah, we'll read the tips next time. God. I think it's very important to, like, think about the different contexts through which Keiichi is learning this information this time, and, like, the different way he's even looking at it, you know? Very important. Because obviously it's not like we're going to rehash the exact same conflict from last time, with Keiichi feeling like everyone's hiding stuff from him, you know? Because he's so strongly, like, justified, like, Mion's reasoning for not wanting to tell him about all this time, you know? So I don't think it's going to be a conflict for him at all, so... We're treading new territory. We are treading new territory. So, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.